Welcome back to another segment of the MCR. Mac is to my left with his blue shirt and new blue hat. My name's TJ in the flannel with my pro gun hat here. In this segment, I would like to talk about 10 realities of Ukraine. It's an article that was written by Victor Davis Hanson. It was published just a few days ago. In fact, they have a publishing date and time of March 18, 2022 at 4:30 a.m. of all times. And Victor Davis Hanson writes this like an opinion piece. And he mentions 10 things that he feels noteworthy, worth mentioning as a part of this war in Ukraine. Okay? First one. And it has to do with the conduct of President Brandon. Point one, reassuring an enemy what one will not do ensures that the enemy will do just that and more. And what he's saying is Biden was saying we're not going to do this or that, and which was giving Putin the green light to, in regards to what we won't do. Okay, cool. I can get this far.
It's akin to us having pistols here and saying, hey, you know what? We left our ammo at home.
Yeah,
we're not going to shoot them.
And in regards to point one, Victor Davis Hanson mentions, he compares it to the unpredictability of Trump and the positive effect that it had with, say, Putin in. We don't know what he's going to, if we do this, we don't know how he's going to respond, so let's not do that, you know?
Let's not risk it. It's not worth the risk.
Yep. Point number two, no-fly zones don't work in a big power symmetrical standoff. And I do feel that.
Yeah.
It's unenforceable. What would make more sense? And I kind of wondered this, and I guess Victor Davis Hanson confirmed what I suspected or thought. Anti-aircraft batteries would be, if we could get anti-aircraft batteries to Ukraine, surface-to-air missiles.
Right.
And if Ukraine, now they'd have to know how to use them. But if a lot of people think plane on plane, air to air. That's what we need to establish a no-fly zone. And that gets us dangerously involved, as opposed to getting these anti-aircraft batteries deployed to Ukraine.
I would contend that, let's say that we just did that. We just gave them. We're still involved.
Yeah, but for every yin, there's a yang.
Right.
How is that any different to what Russia did with North Korea and North Vietnam in the Korean War and the Vietnam War?
Yeah.
I mean,
it was a proxy war.
So yes, you could say we're involved, but so was Russia in those two wars.
Yeah.
Okay? If we're going to keep score here.
Right.
Okay?
Wouldn't disagree.
Number three, Europe, NATO members, and Germany in particular have de facto admitted that their past decades of shutting down nuclear plants, coal mines, oil and gas fields have left Europe at the mercy of Russia. Heck, we were beating that drum when Trump was president.
Yeah.
Well,
my personal feeling is, and this would perhaps worsen it for those people, but you know what? They might come in line with us if we did this. I don't know why we're in Germany. Why are we there? Why are we still in North Korea 70 years later? It doesn't make. Why are we in Japan, for that matter?
Yeah, really.
All they do is bash us every chance they get while they live under our protection.
Number 4, China is now pro-Russian. I find interesting now pro-Russian. I understand at one point they were at odds with each other.
Well, the enemy of my enemy.
Yeah, but China is now pro-Russian. Beijing wants Russian natural resources at a discount. I think you could almost throw India in with that.
That's what's being reported.
So, and again, I'm going to remind everyone the title, 10 Realities of Ukraine. Okay? So that would be the fourth reality we've now come to conclude regarding Ukraine and the war. Number 5, Americans are finally digesting how destructive the humiliating flight, as in departure, from Afghanistan was.
Wow.
You know, a signal to Russia, China, North Korea, Iran, that Western deterrence has died.
Well, when you see a dog and his tail is up and he's giving you a mean look, you need to beware of that dog. But when you come across a dog and he's peeing on the ground, his tail's between his legs, you might have some liberty for that dog.
Number 6. The Ukraine war did not cause inflation and record gas prices,
No.
though the liberals would still argue
Well, they're
that.
still trying to say it's all Putin's fault.
Yeah. Both were already spiking by early February 2022. Yeah, big time. Big time.
Well, on election day, or I'm sorry, inauguration day, the gas prices here in the city I live were at $2.24. The last I looked, the last I paid, they were at $2.24. I'm sorry, $4.24.
Number 7 brings up a point, and there's an added component in this, which I didn't realize until I kind of considered this. Putin did not invade during Trump's tenure, and what he's saying is, and then he goes on to use Georgia, Crimea, and now Ukraine as examples. And the reason why I say Georgia, Putin was messing around with Georgia when Bush was president.
Yeah.
Okay?
Right. Yeah.
And people forget that, and I had kind of forgotten.
Well, we had a two-front war going on there, so they probably took advantage of the fact that we didn't want a third one.
I was like, holy cow, that's right. And then when Obama was president, we had the whole Crimea thing,
Yep.
which we kind of gave a pass to.
Yep.
And now we've got Ukraine, just the all-out invasion of Ukraine.
Right.
And this happened before and after Trump's presidency. Okay? And again...
But not during.
But not during. And you know, this... And I'm going to get sidetracked here a little bit, but this goes to maybe President Trump knew more than we gave him credit for.
Well, I would assume so because, he doesn't talk about everything he knows, but he is an example of what I think it was either one of the Roosevelts, Teddy or Franklin, who said, walk softly, but carry a big stick. Well, that's what Donald Trump did.
I don't know if he walked so softly,
Well,
but
but you know what? He wasn't, he was kind of like, hey, let's sit down and talk with Putin. There's no advantage in a war with them. Blah, blah, blah,
the thing is, President Trump understood the effect of low energy prices.
Yes.
To the point, like,
and the effect of high energy prices.
Yeah, I mean, I am amazed at his insight now that we know what we know, given this whole quagmire,
Yeah.
So that was a little sidetracked. Sorry, everybody. Number 8. It is not an escalation to send arms to Ukraine, going back to what I said about North Vietnam and North Korea and the obscene resupply Russia did to both those countries.
Right.
Number 9. Putin may never fully absorb Ukraine as long, and this number 9 kind of goes hand in hand with 8. Putin may never fully absorb Ukraine as long as it can be easily supplied across its borders from 4 NATO countries, primary one being Poland. All right. As long as we can funnel things through Poland, Putin may have his way in the east. But it's looking less and less like he's going to be able to fully absorb Ukraine.
Right.
And it sure looks less and less that he still hasn't gotten into Kyiv. Okay?
Right.
And heck, conventional wisdom was within 48 to 72 hours, they were going to have a puppet regime installed in Kyiv.
Right.
Okay?
It was... this makes me go back to the Obama days when they did Fast and Furious. They didn't have a problem giving weapons to drug cartel members just to see who they killed with them. So why they don't want to arm these people up to at least give them some chance to fight back.
He also goes on to use examples. The Korean War, we were deadlocked because they were being resupplied from the north. Same with the Vietnam War. Iraq was stalled because of porous borders, and Afghanistan also because they were being continually resupplied from neighbors, and making it again difficult.
Pakistan being one of those.
Yeah, really. So as there is the hope that through Poland we may be able to keep Putin from. And I heard something said by a guy was talking. He goes, Russia by itself as a country, Russia with an absorbed Ukraine would be the makings of an empire. Okay.
Well, because they do have, it's been referred to as the breadbasket of the world because of the wheat production. I'm sure the Russians would love to take that.
Big time.
And, the energy. In a previous video on the interview with the guy from the Ukraine, YP, he mentions that, that they're much like a Middle Eastern country in which Russia, yeah, they're very much like a Middle Eastern country because they rely on oil production, which they have a boatload of.
Energy, natural resources to fund their
tyranny,
their messed up ways.
Right.
Number 10. It is not un-American to point out that prior American appeasement under Obama and now the Biden administrations explains not why Putin wished to go into Ukraine, but why he felt he could. Basically, because of Obama's appeasement and now Biden's appeasement, Putin thought he could get away with it, is what they're saying.
Well, I see people do that every day.
And our criticism of it is not un-American.
Can you imagine if tomorrow people started letting people take cuts in line at the grocery store and didn't say anything? It'd be...
So, in any event, if you have a chance, and by the way, anytime you come across something by Victor Davis Hanson, you ought to stop and read it. It's gonna be, to use one of Mac's favorite words, a plethora. Litany of good points. Victor Davis Hanson always has good things, good ideas to read and digest and take into consideration.
And if you like Jordan Peterson, you'll like Victor Davis Hanson.
Correct. So that's all I got. You have any final comments?
No, sir.
All right, that's going to be a wrap for this one. 10 Realities of Ukraine by Victor Davis Hanson. As always, be safe, watch your six, and don't tread on me.